As I read that book many times in the process of editing, I came to this wonderful feeling of what was the role of mathematics and geometry in the second plane class. And in fact, in all planes, but in particular, I was thinking more about the second plane. And what I came away with was that Montessori really wants children to be prepared to live in a world. She doesn't want them ignorant. She says you have to teach the children about money, you have to teach them about measurement, you have to teach them about calculating, because those are the skills that will help them to thread their way through all the situations that will arise. So that was a big thread for me, and I kind of always knew that one. But it's the second one that I wasn't quite sure until I read this and reread it many times. And it's this: mathematics and geometry is the only discipline which provides the child with certitude. There is an answer because your well-defined system, within that system there is consistency and there's truth, so to speak, in mathematics. Children and all human beings like to stand on a solid foundation. They like to know they're right. Mathematics and geometry gives the child the opportunity to know that you're right. This is okay, because people are like this, it's okay to feel like this, and you can do it. But mathematics and geometry are also used to reveal what you can be more or less certain about. So in research, you use mathematics to say, you use statistical significance. You say, okay, I'm setting my hypothesis, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but if I'm right, this should happen, and if it happens and I observe it, hey, I got a good certitude that this is right. But you can follow that logical path because of your training in mathematics and geometry. Otherwise, you're always kind of shifting. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if this theory's right, that theory's right. And so you become very not secure in knowledge. We can be more, we don't really know whether Einstein's theories are all correct. We don't know that. There's no truth out there. It's the observations. But we can be within some certain that it's probably, closer than not. The sun's going to rise because we look at things mathematically and geometrically. So that's the role. And so when I think about things like cube root in the second plane curriculum, I think, why? Why would we do cube root? And it's because I've seen child after child compute a cube root, check it, and having checked it, and it checks, go, yay! That sense of accomplishment, that sense of I know what I can know, is the paramount reason for mathematics and geometry. So how does a child discover, or in what ways does a child discover in the second plane? Because we obviously can't teach everything. We don't want to teach everything. We want the child to have some aha moments. Well, there was one part in psychogeometry that I really reflected on, and it was her work in area. She works on area of plane figures. So there's area of rectangles, area of triangles, trapezoids, rhombus, a pentagon, and decagon. And she derives the area for a rectangle because that is your baseline, what is the meaning of area. And then she derives it for the triangle. And then she says children will then figure out the areas of all the other figures. And I stopped and I went, oh. Because in training, we have laboriously gone through deriving the area of every one of those figures. So in some sense, we prevented the teachers from discovering it, who in turn will prevent the children from discovering it. And I think that was probably one of the most poignant realizations from doing that book, is that I have to trust that I have given the foundation in such a way that the rest can be derived. To be able to have that amount of trust in a child, we have to develop it. We don't trust children. We know more than they do, so that translates into we better teach you before you make a mistake. But it's in making the mistake that the child begins to develop their own ability and makes their own discoveries.